Today we wrap up everything we have to say about cast-ons. Well, at least everything mom had to say. I've shown you all of mom's videos. I think we have a set of 7 posts about that. Can you imagine coming to class and learning all of those in the same day? Yeah, blow your mind. They say stick with me, you'll learn some stuff. One cool thing about cast-ons is there's more ways to cast on and more options available than there are bind-offs. Bind-offs are far more limited in options, and a lot of times when you get into bind-offs that do some of the more advanced or cool things that cast-ons do, they become even more complicated. They're usually sewn bind-offs with the tapestry needle rather than with needles, which make them harder. She never made a series of videos on bind-offs. Perhaps I'll pick up and do those at some point, especially keep making videos. It gives me a lot of material to work with. Like I said, the chances of me running out of material are quite low. But I did want to follow up with just a few things about cast-ons that were not included in the videos, especially long-tail cast-on. Probably the biggest complaint or reasons why people don't like to use long-tail cast-on is because of the long tail. Because you cast on and you run out of yarn. So I'm going to show you 2 different options today for that. The first one is a way that you do it with just 2 balls of yarn. You don't have to have a slip knot. Usually, or do it if you this is really good if you have a lot of stitches. If you don't have a lot of stitches, I don't think it's worth the extra tails that this gives you. But if you have to cast on a whole lot of stitches, you might consider doing it with 2 balls of yarn. Like I said, usually if you have that many stitches, it's a big project and you're going to have more than 1 ball that you're using anyway. If not, like I've done, you can just pull off of both ends. Just make sure that your working yarn is the one coming out of the middle or the outside if that's what you prefer. So like I said, the tail technically goes on the front, so your working yarn will go on the back. And you're not going to use a slip knot on this. You don't have to with this. We're just going to start. So you've got it held. I'm just holding those strands there, and you just start casting on. Pretty cool, huh? And then when you get the number of stitches cast on, you just cut off the front. It's one in the front, which is the tail. Like I said, it's going to give you 2 more tails at the beginning of your project. So that's something you just have to kind of weigh yourself if it's worth 2 more tails to do this. But you will not run out of yarn this way at all because, you've got 2 balls, especially if you have 2 full balls. So that solves that problem. The next, and this one I'm going to leave you with, is a clip from a video that we posted or published. We actually produced our own DVD back in 2005, so it's 15 years ago. So it's a little behind. Laura's in it. You guys will remember Laura, plus a gal named Christy used to work for me. And they're going to show you a method how to calculate quickly and easily how much yarn you need for a cast on. Here you go.
Great, I ran out of yarn. I get so aggravated when I cast on all of these stitches and don't have enough yarn to finish.
You can calculate how much yarn to leave for the tail. That way you won't run short. Here, I'll show you how. First, make a slip knot. With the yarn from the tail on your thumb, cast on 10 more stitches. Pinch and hold the tail yarn from the last stitch. Unravel 10 stitches, leaving the slip knot on the needle. Measure the distance between the slip knot and where your fingers are marking the yarn from the last stitch.
Mine measures 11 inches.
Now, how many stitches do you need to cast on for your project?
80.
Divide the total number of cast on stitches, which is 80, by the number of stitches cast on for the sample, which is 10. Multiply by the length of yarn needed for the sample, which was 11 inches, and add 6 inches for a tail. This equals 94 inches or almost 8 feet.
Great, now I only have to cast on once.